Influence. What is it and how to get it? Welcome to the Influencer Radio Podcast, where we connect you with influencers who are shaping our culture in tech, media, startups, venture capital, sports, film and television, publishing, and philanthropy. From the youngest to the oldest, these amazing influencers are innovators and trendsetters. They ignore the status quo and refuse to be labeled. Find out why Influencer Radio is the most talked about influencer show on the planet and get your VIP all-access pass to the front of the line now. You'll hear inspiring stories from global victors filled with practical daily how-to tips to raise yourself from failure to success. Turn up the volume right now and get ready for the ride of your life as you invest in yourself these next few life-altering moments on the Influencer Radio Podcast with your host, Michael D. Butler.
Hey friends, welcome back. Michael Butler, Dads Across America and Single Dads Thrive. We're here with Dan Durbin, and I am for, Dan, thanks for coming tonight. We were talking about men and how important men are to our society. You've got an organization, you've been working with men for years. I've been given resources and support to men for years after my divorce. There's a lot of hurting guys out there. You spent a lot of years in the Army. You talk about PTSD. What's going on, the state of affairs with men in America, and how can we help more men?
Here's the thing. I think the number one thing we can do with men is help them realize that they're living life in the earth opposed. They're living life in the earth in the context of war. Just like I spent time in a combat zone.
Right.
That's obvious. But John chapter 10, verse 10 says that the enemy comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy.
Yeah.
And another champion of men's events, John Eldredge, says that until you understand life in the context of war, you won't understand it. So men walk around going, why do I suck?
Wow.
Why am I struggling?
Right.
Why is this so hard? Because you have a very real enemy that says if I destroy men in the earth, then I can destroy the family. Then I can destroy the kingdom of God by attacking men.
One of my theme scriptures, and I know it's your favorite, came to me this year. I've been sharing everywhere, almost every day that I speak, is Malachi 4. And Malachi 4 talks about that in the last days, God would turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. And we're starting to see that happen now. But I want you to share with me, what are some of those enemies of men? What are those things that are blindsiding guys and they're not even aware? Because guys will hang out in a bar, go to their cave, whereas women will get out and talk to each other, right? Whereas if we're hurting guys, we just kind of close off. What are some of the things attacking men, and how can men reach out?
The number one thing that's attacking men is their natural default response and their personality. So, what does that mean? That's confusing to those that are watching. So some men go immediately to becoming aggressive. Right? So why are they going to anger and abuse? You're going to anger and abuse because you're seeking the fruit of the Spirit, which is love. And joy and peace and patience and kindness. Well, not every man's wired that way.
Right.
You said men are going into themselves and withdrawing. Well, that's a default personality that is, I want to find my safe place.
Going into addiction, going into anger.
Pornography, alcoholism, workaholism, video games, which doesn't relate as much to our age demographic.
Millennials, 20, 30 years old, still on the couch playing video games all day.
Yes, because men, you don't know how. It's not that you don't want to, you desperately want to step into what you know.
It's an escape.
100%.
Yeah.
So what we do at I Am For, which is led by Pastor I.V. Marsh out of Decatur, Alabama. IV, Roman numeral number 4. He's written a book called Becoming Man. And that book, and then the I Am For movement, as well as another program we do called Warrior Evolution, these programs are designed and built to try to teach men, hey, here are the exact tangible tools you need in order to be the man, to become the man that you know you want to become.
So many men didn't have that model for them, right? They grew up in a single-parent home, or even if their dad was there, maybe it was emotionally unavailable, or they never saw their dad protect the family. I know a lot of, I was in counseling a lot as pastor, a lot of men didn't see their fathers protect their families. And when the enemy comes in like a flood, they don't know how to protect.
Right.
They're being meek, they're being humble, they may sing loud in church or clap their hands, but they don't know how to defend their family against an attack, right?
Absolutely.
What's your advice to men on that?
My advice is we need other men.
Yeah.
And listen, we not only need other men, we need other men that aren't like us.
Yeah.
I have a great friend who is a worship pastor, and man, that guy loves Jesus so much, and he thinks that to ever become aggressive is almost sinful, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I have another friend that he thinks the answer is always to get tough.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, man? We need each other because we can't always act in our default.
Jesus was a man of velvet and steel, right? And he threw the money changers out, but at the same time, when it was time to go to the cross, he knew how to turn the other cheek. How do you instill that wisdom in men? I like what you said, men need other men. It's hard for us. It's so easy for women to connect. What is it about guys? Maybe we've been abused. 1 in 5 or 1 in 4 boys now is sexually abused, or have just been demasculated. If not physically, we've been emotionally. I mean, the media's got this onslaught, this hatred toward men, right? And it's almost like, how do we become secure in who we are? Because what I notice is men like you, when you walk into a room, the women in the room feel secure because they realize you're nurturing them, you're confident, and they just calm down and open up and relax. How can a man get to that point?
You need another man.
There you go.
You need here's what we say. You need a father voice, a mature father voice in your life that can come and mentor you and teach you the way. Find the man that is experiencing love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Find that man and say, I want to be like you. Would you teach me? And that's what these men's movements, your ministry, IM4.TV, you go there.
I was about to ask you, Dan Durbin, IM4.TV. We're going to have you on again because this was so good. I like how you talk with your hands too. This is really good. Now you're doing some martial arts and stuff this weekend. You're a tough guy. I wouldn't want to oppose at a bar or in the back alley because you look pretty tough. So is it okay for guys to learn martial arts and self-defense?
100%. One of my best friends, one of the men I respect most in the world is a guy named Brandon McCatherine. He works with 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Eddie Bravo and those guys. Man, I've learned more on the jiu-jitsu mat than I have in a lot of sermons. Wow. Now, there were scriptures coming to my mind, but I was learning the very things we're talking about. Sometimes your natural reaction is absolutely the wrong reaction, and it takes training and a coach. Because
even though I'm taller than you, I know you would put me on the mat really quick because you're going to use my anger and force that I'm projecting against you, and you're going to turn it, and you're going to plant my nose. I know you. I've seen this look before. Sometimes you meet friends and you're like, they're going to be lifelong friends. You need to connect with people that can help you. Guys, if you're going through a divorce right now, bankruptcy, an addiction issue, whatever, no matter what pain you're going through, the addiction process is not going to lead you to the answer. I want to tell you there are answers. Plug into the links here. Stay tuned for more. Reach out to me or Dan, and there's resources for you. John Eldridge, Wild at Heart, great place to start, and then come to one of his events. We're going to talk more.
Awesome.
What's our ending pose? It's going to be like,
You've been listening to the Influencer Radio Podcast with your host, Michael D. Butler. Opinions on this show are designed to offend, shock, and make you think. Let the host know what you're thinking right now. Go ahead and fire off an email to podcast@beyondpublishing.net and tune in next time to the Influencer Radio Podcast, where we connect you with influencers who are shaping our culture.